Okay, final battle. I made the choice to finally do it because everyone else is doing SmackDown, and I'll see SmackDown tomorrow. So I just decided I wanted to do final battle. Now, I want to say this right now, ahead of time. I know about Kenny. I know Kenny right now has the same condition as Brock Lesnar, so he is indefinitely out. We do not know what's going to happen to him. We don't know. So I was considering making a video about Kenny Omega. I am still considering it, but essentially, I want to wait until more information from AEW is available, as well as how AEW TV is going to compensate for this. It may be a couple of weeks easily before I make any video on Kenny. And I want to make this clear, as someone who's not a huge Kenny fan, I'm not going to start looking at his old catalog of work. I'm going by what he did in AEW and Impact Wrestling. So I may talk about some of it, but not all. Here we go. You see the title. They did go all out for Jay. They did. It won't be all the matches, but it's kind of the feeling when you watch the show that they all wanted to honor Jay, not just a 6-man tag, but this is just me. Now, I don't know if there was any kickoff show. I didn't check. But we're talking about nearly 10 matches, and it's up to 12 o'clock. So, 1, I didn't see that. 2, there's going to be no images in this video. And 3, this may not be very long. It may not be super detailed. I'm going to try and keep this under 30 minutes, and then I'm going to upload it, and hopefully all of y'all are going to love it. Let's start with the match I was very interested in. Black Taurus versus Vikingo for the AAA Mega Championship. Black Taurus has been with Impact for quite a while. Yes, he goes over to New Japan Pro Strong. He has been in MLW. He has worked, I think this is the second time he worked in AEW. I think he did one maybe a year ago. I can't remember. Either several months ago or a year ago. I think he's been on ROH TV once before this. I think this could be the first time, or this could be the second time he's been on AEW television. Or there's guys, there is no ROH. There is no WWE. It's just the companies that own them. And pretty much, Black Taurus has been on it. So, was this a good match? No. I want to tell you why. Now, Black Taurus has been around Vikingo for more than a few years. He knows him. But they never worked on ROH TV. And they never went after, well, I don't want to say it was 100% trash. But I am going to say there was a lot of sloppiness from Vikingo and some dangerous moves that were done to Black Taurus. I'm not saying Vikingo is always bad. He usually is pretty alright. But it looked like he got totally worn out when he was working with Black Taurus. And he started getting very sloppy to the point where Black Taurus had to cover for him a good amount. And a few times, some of those moves looked like it actually hurt Black Taurus. Not even talking about how Vikingo, who had to readjust not once near the end of the match when he couldn't do the rope jump backwards to go after Black Taurus. He tried twice, then he tried a third time. Guys, it was sloppy near the end. Vikingo was winded badly, and it showed in the match. So, I'm not saying they don't have chemistry. This is the first time I've seen them work together, but I know Black Taurus, and I've seen Vikingo. And something happened near the middle to the end of that match where Vikingo just got tanked. And he started getting very sloppy. It's just hopefully he didn't give himself a concussion and did not hurt a Black Taurus. Because at one point, Black Taurus was thrown out. And the way he landed, he could have easily torn his ACL in his, I believe, his right knee. If it's not his right, it's left, the way he landed and planted, because Vikingo threw him out the way he did. So hopefully he'll be alright. But Vikingo won, and I'm not surprised. But honestly, it was sloppy. It was sloppy near the end. I'm just saying. 6-man tag. The Mogul affiliates. That is the Gates of Agony and Cage versus TMDK. I haven't seen DMKA in a long time. I don't remember no one there. Now, supposedly have a new person there. And during the match, he looked pretty good. He was the smallest guy there. And he looked like he came from the New Japan Pro Strong Dojo. He wasn't that bad, but he didn't really have a lot of character. He had a lot of energy. Character wasn't that good. But in the end, I'm not surprised the Mogul affiliates won. And seeing that the Prince Nana still is so over with his dance. It is ridiculous. Even without the music from Ace Word Strickland, he's so over. People wanted him to dance. That is how over some of these guys are. But then you wonder why they keep showing them on ROH TV. Honestly, they should be on the main card the majority of the time and not leave them on ROH. They should be taken off. I'm just saying. It's just me. Leave the Gates in Agony on ROH TV with Cage without Prince Nana. I'm just being honest. Now, the I Quit match between Ethan Page and Tony Nese. I don't know the reason why they started it yet. They did a vid pack to explain that Smart Mark Sterling had an attitude because Ethan Page didn't do what he liked. And that led to the match. And a strange situation where Smart Mark Sterling was going to be handcuffed. And the special guest enforcer was Mark Henry, who wasn't an enforcer. What the fuck was that? That Mark Henry is supposed to be the enforcer, who's supposed to make sure Smart Mark Sterling is not only chained, but not interfere in the match. But Mark Henry didn't stay. Seriously? You make him an enforcer, but he doesn't stay. He's just there to make sure he gets chained, and then he walks away. And then he reappears again after the match is over, when Scorpio Sky eventually shows up. Now, in between that, Scorpio showing up, I will not tell you the match was bad. It was an okay I Quit match. It wasn't a bad match. And after the match that he had with Kenny Omega, which I didn't see. I didn't see his match with Kenny. That happened on, I believe, Rampage. Or was it Collision? I can't remember. It probably was Collision, because that's when I did Deadline, so I missed it. But it wasn't a bad match, and I'm sure he had a good match with Kenny, which hopefully now will help him to be more due to the fact that Kenny will be away for a while. Hopefully he will be able to return like a Brock Lesnar, but you never know with that type of condition. You never know. Never. So, okay. Supposedly, Scorpio and him had issues, but Scorpio was there for him when he needed him. All right. I don't know what to say, yes or no. I don't know if this is good or bad. I just don't know because I haven't seen Always TV. I have to move on. The fourth match, Nia Rose versus Vent Vixen. There's not much to say here. Nia Rose won. Let me give it to you like this. I don't hate Nia. Never did. I've always felt that Nia really wasn't utilized correctly. Like most of the women there. I mean, she did act like muscle at one point. And we never really got much out of what she could really do. Because she really wasn't booked very well. I mean, a lot of women were not booked very well. There's only one current woman that's booked decently well. And that is my taste is Toni Storm. And I know people will say, what about all the other women? What about Julia Hart? Yes, she's booked, but what is she doing? I just knew that she's been the most well built to become champion, but what is she doing now? Not much. Sky Blue is not doing much. What is... I'm like... Chris Statlander is doing nothing. Julia Hart is a big question. Will they do anything with her? Sky Blue is doing nothing. The only one that's doing something is the world champion, and she's going up against Riho, who has no build behind her other than just a match, where they don't even do anything. I'm just saying. And Nia just... There you go. Let's move on to the Survivor of the Fittest match for the TV title. I thought they might have retired it, but they decided they wanted to just stick it on somebody. There was only 2 people in there that I felt could be the best to get the title. Now, You had Big Shotty, which is Lee Johnson, Lee Moriarty. You got Castle. You got, what is the guy's name? Brian Keefe, who is a bounty hunter, who's wearing a Aztec poncho. I think either it's a Native American poncho from one tribe, or it looks like an Aztec poncho. I don't know if he's Mexican. He might not be, but you never know. And, who else was there? Lee Johnson, Castle, Fletcher, Commander. Those are the ones that were in that match. Everybody was going to be at ringside, and they swap out each and every way. You got Danton Castle with the boys. One of the rare people you can see from ROH. And understand, I was never an ROH fan. Understand me, I never was. I didn't watch the product, and what little I did see of the product, I felt that it was very, very blank. It had almost no character development for the people. And people say that's pure wrestling. Pure amateur wrestling? Fine. Go watch the Olympics. Go watch collegiate. Pro wrestling has some level of character, some level of development of story. And not all the time can you do it with a match. With no build, no nothing. And when I look at Dante Castle, he's one of the few people that is from ROH who has a character, who has charisma. He has two guys there that always with him, calls his boys, and they just have something that normal AEW TV could benefit from. He's a good wrestler that when it's time to turn the switch on, he can be serious. But no, they don't put him on regular AEW TV. He's barely on it. I've seen Collision. I've seen Dynamite. Even though I don't see Rampage, he was barely on it when they were showing it. He's just an ROH guy to them. And it's a waste. He was thrown out of the ring 5 freaking times. Just because he was so like, I'm going to get you, and then thrown out by everybody. That was so much fun. It's not that he's just a comedic wrestler. It is obvious the guy can literally be serious when he wants to be. Unlike, and I know my friend is going to be watching this, Johnny Swinger is flat out a comedic wrestler, but Danton Castle is not. He, when he wants to be, can be a comedic wrestler. He's just a character that is just so full of himself. People just gotta love him. That's it. It's not the same as Johnny. In the end, it was only 2 people I knew who can really win that title and who looked the best. One, it was Fletcher. Fletcher just looked good. He always looked good in Aussie Open. He looked great here. I knew he would be one of them. The other one was Castle. I knew he could win. Everyone else was just bodies. Honestly. And in the end, the last 2 was there was Commander and Fletcher. And Fletcher got put over very well with Commander. He just looked great. But now, on Collision, it's going to be, what is it? What is the guy's name again? Brian Keefe will be going up against Orange Cassidy for the International Championship because they want to do something. He wants gold. He is the bounty hunter. He wants it. So, alright, he's going to get a shot because he gets approached by Orange. He says, you want gold? Here it is. Come get it. Fine. Now, let's see here. Let me give it to you like this. I didn't expect Tom Lawler. I always get Lawyer and Lawler messed up. Tom Lawler. Dirty Tom Lawler. Of the, what is it? I forgot what he called his group. The Filthy. Dirty Filthy. I can't remember. It's been a while since I've seen MLW. You'll probably tell me below. Team Filthy. There you go. Team Filthy. He's from Team Filthy. He's been working on ROH. And now he tries to get the pure title, and he goes against Wheeler Yuta. Now I'm going to tell you this. It was the best technical match they had here. The best technical one. 100%, no lie, was very, very good. I had no problem with it. I enjoyed it. It did what it needed to do. It had a lot of strategy in it. It was what it was meant to be. Wheeler Yuta's strategy was done pretty well. Lawler trying to go against him and doing a lot of counters and having to do rope breaks. One rope break for Lawler, but all three of Wheeler Yuta's rope breaks were done because Lawler just out-wrestled him, but Wheeler Yuta pretty much out-strategized him, and in the end, he managed to win. Now, I'm not saying that this was a bad match. It was not. But I am going to tell you this. If Team Filthy shows up on pretty much ROH TV instead of on Dynamite or Rampage, I wouldn't be too surprised. I'm just saying it. Now, the match that was the hardest hitting of two guys. That is Keith Lee and it is Shane Taylor. Now, if I remember correctly, I could be wrong. I think they went up against each other last year, but it was not on ROH TV. It was on AEW TV, supposedly, not ROH TV. Or pay-per-view, actually. I could be wrong. You guys tell me below. Did these guys actually get in the ring when they were in AEW TV or pay-per-view? Because this is now ROH pay-per-view, and now this is the first time in almost 7 years they actually got into an ROH ring to face one another. As far as I know, they already did face each other, and they had their match. And if I remember again, Keith Lee beat his ass. But it's hard to remember, it's been a while, and a lot has happened. This was the most hardest hitting match both these guys could probably do. I've seen Taylor a couple of times, and I know how Keith Lee is. And it was a good, hard-hitting match from two very big guys. Actually, I think Taylor's match with Joe was not as good as this one. Because Joe was practically the same size as Taylor. But here, you got Taylor, who's the smaller underdog, compared to Keith Lee, who's the bigger guy. Flat out, bigger, big. This is Keith, this is Taylor. That's how it is. In the end, Taylor lost. But Keith tried to extend a hand, and Taylor went to his kids again to kiss them. I don't know if he kissed a woman that was there, because there was a woman there that was wearing glasses. I don't know if that's the kid's mother. I think she is. That's how it ended. But here's the thing. Since I'm not watching ROH TV, I don't know how far they were going to go with this story. We've seen it on Dynamite a couple of times where he's demanding something from Keith Lee, but in the end, it doesn't feel like it's much because they're really not showing it on Dynamite or Collision. My guess at this point, what might happen eventually will be that they're going to team back up and be a tag team again and get the opportunity to get the match that they were supposed to have in 2017, but Keith left to become Limitless Keith Lee of pretty much NXT. Because that's what happened. He left to go to WWE. He went in NXT. That's where he was, and that's what we got. Now, what do we got here? I am not doing the match you're thinking. I'm going through everything else that's left. Now, Proving Grounds match. Anthony Henry versus Eddie Kingston. He's still the champion for ROH, so he has to do a Proving Grounds match. So Anthony would get the opportunity to see if he gets a shot. So we got a hard-hitting match. A lot of smacks. I mean, he was smacking the living taste out of the mouth of Anthony. And Anthony looked literally dazed. I mean, yeah, he got a little dazed. But at one point, I just saw Eddie just gave him a really hard slap to the face. And you can see the lights were on, but nobody was home. He literally got dazed from one hit that was right here near the ear. He literally got one. Yeah, he came out of it pretty easily. But still, he got stunned. But in the end, Eddie won. I'm not surprised. He can't lose now. Not before the tournament's over and him losing or winning to Daniel Garcia, who literally came out as he was walking back, just to get in Eddie's face. Because the match will be tomorrow, and this is an Eddie match that he must win if he wishes to stay in the tournament. I'm not going to lie to you. Eddie Kingston and Mark Briscoe, the two guys I still believe AEW just missed the boat on. Honestly, that's how I feel. They missed the boat on how popular they are. They still are very popular, but they should be doing something now with them. And it should be on mainline TV instead of ROH TV. I'm sorry. That's just me. You guys tell me below. I will elaborate more on Mark in a minute, but that's how I feel. The last match of the night, which was the second best for me personally. I'm telling you right now, this was the second best match. Unfortunately, due to the fact that I don't watch ROH, I didn't fully understand what was going on. I got the gist of it that since she's been, I think the last time I saw Athena, and that's regular ROH TV, is when she had already passed 20 matches. Won. Say about 20 matches she won. And after that, it seems that she decided to have a group of minions. And that Billy Starks became one of them, along with Alexa, who is an announcer. And Billy Starks got treated, she got treated badly, and she wanted to be respected. And that's what this match was about. Now, I do know that Athena got her nose broken by Billy by accident when she got thrown into the guardrail. The second time she got thrown into the guardrail, I don't think it's the third, it was the second one, because I saw how she got smashed into her face. And she got smashed hard. No, I think it was the second one, not the third one, where she really got her face smashed into the guardrail by Billy. So she was wearing a face mask. Well, it wasn't an interesting face mask. Yeah, it had green glitter around it and glitter around her ears. She wanted to customize it, which she did. This is Athena. Guys, look. I'm going to tell you this about Athena. I don't know how old she's in the mid-30s, I believe, right now. Nearing 40. The woman is a dork. She's a geek. I'm a geek. I mean, look. I don't say it a lot, but I love anime. I love sci-fi. I love pro wrestling. I'm going to try and go back to doing animation. I'm a geek myself. This is the woman that guys want to marry, that understands being a nerd or geek. This is a woman that you wish that you could have, that could understand you. This is a woman you want. And that's what I love about Athena. One of the things I love about Athena. I mean, she's a great wrestler. She does great character. Her character as the fallen goddess here is great. And it drives me insane to think that when you heard her talk, I think more than almost 2 years ago, a year and a half to 2 years ago, I think. Was it a year and a half? I think easily more than a year. She went to Chris Van Vlien's show and said clearly that she went to Impact before she was ready to just give up on wrestling and work in the immigration department because she was making good money there with her husband, doing whatever work he was doing. She tried to go to Impact. She tried, supposedly, I think, twice to go to Impact. And those stupid motherfuckers did not sign her. Motherfucker, are you telling me that Impact was that damn stupid back then not to fucking hire her? Look what she's managed to do when she went to... Calm down. When she went to NXT, she was so dominant, even with her character. And ROH. She took a dead title and made it mean something to people, where the only thing she does is yay and whoops everybody's ass. That's it. And people adore her. How the blue fuck did they mess that up? And if anybody says, oh, they were under other management, it's the same fucking management. The only thing that's different is Scott D'Amore and the other guy, I can't remember his name. There's still many people that was there during her time. So that's one of the reasons why I'm still concerned about TNA. Get what I'm saying? But this was a damn good match. Athena decided she wanted to put this girl over. She's 18. She's been with her for about almost a year. And she decided, I'm going to put this girl over and make her mean something. And she did. Even with a broken nose that the girl gave her, she put all out for that. And she made her. Now, mind you, making her in a match does not mean making her on the main roster. And I'm kind of wishing that Athena would go to the main roster because not a sip, but you got to say this. Athena said, if she beats me, I'm leaving ROH. And I kind of hope she keeps that up, saying, if I'm ever beaten, I'm leaving ROH TV because there's nothing left for me to do. I'm not going to get my damn title. I'm gone. I'm kind of wishing she would do that and make it clear that Athena, the fallen goddess, only stays as long as she wants to stay. And when she loses, she has nothing to prove anymore and she's going to walk away. In other words, go to the main roster. I'm just saying. She hugged her minion Billy said, what do you want from me? She says, minion. I want you as my minion. And she shook her hand, said, okay, I'll be your minion again, and hugged her, and that's it. I don't know the full story about how the minions work, so I can't really say it's good or bad, like I said. Now, finally, and I'm almost like 30 minutes here, I'm probably going to have to do this in 2 parts and then put it through my editing software and put them together. The 6-man tag. Blackpool Combat Club without Wheeler Yuta versus FTR and Mark Briscoe to honor Jay Briscoe. This was the best match of the night. It was. Because it was emotional and how far these guys were willing to go to destroy one another to make it look good. I'm telling you right now, when it comes to Bryan Danielson, the guy pretty much is the GOAT. You say John Cena's the GOAT? No. The guy still hasn't probably fully recovered from his orbital bone break. And he is still wrestling. And he decided not only to keep wrestling, but to keep wrestling and go in one of the most brutal matches you can have. And then, and understand, they'd already gone about at least 20, nearing 25 minutes into that match when it became a no contest because they just got so into it. Everyone started just fighting one another. We're outside the ring and the ref just had to stop it. And it's Jay's little older brother. I believe Mark is the older brother to Jay. I believe so. And he said, fuck this shit. Fuck no. We are still going to have this match. Hey, let's make this a anything goes match. And it got turned into a fight without honor. Fight without dishonor match. I think that's what it's called. I forgot. Guys, this was a brutal damn match. There was a lot of bleeding from Cash Wheeler. Dash Hardwood got busted open, and at one point near the end of the match, he has not like 1 thumbtack in his back, not 2. He got maybe 20 thumbtacks in his back, going through a table with Moxley and a pile driver, if I'm remembering correctly. That's how rough it was. At one point, Bryan Danielson had to stop because his eye was getting really messed up and he had to stop for a bit to try and take care and protect himself. It was that brutal. In the end, it was FTR and Mark, and I'm not surprised. I am not surprised it happened. They had to let Mark win this with FTR because let's make this really clear. Hang on. I had to stop it. And I'm going to leave this in the video. You're going to see me press the button on the other part of the video. And you're going to see me click it here because there ain't no reason not to. This is special. This is special. But let's make this clear. They had to do it with those 3. From what happened before Mark's accident and unfortunate death, they had to do it. They had to let FTR and Mark, older brother, win the match. I'm not sure. I could be wrong that Mark is the younger brother and Jay's the older. I can't remember. You're going to tell me, I know someone's going to say, Mark is the older brother, Jay is the younger brother, or Jay is the older brother, and Mark's. I know you're going to tell me, I'm sorry, I don't know it all, and I don't want to know it all. I'd rather keep learning stuff. It's no fun if you know everything, or near everything. But you get my point. They had to do it with these three because of how special the match they had before Mark's death. Well, I'm saying Mark's death. Jay's death. I'm getting Mark and Jay mixed up because I'm not going to tell you that this doesn't make me a bit emotional. That's the reason I'm messing this up a little bit, guys. It does mess with my anxiety a little bit talking about death. Like most people, not everyone is comfortable talking about it. And what I got to say here is the part that's probably messing with me. Because seeing this match makes me realize, again, like I said in my video from Dynamite, why Mark Briscoe cannot leave AEW. Even if they do nothing with him and job him out, or worse, do what WWE does with most of their talent when Vince was running it, and clearly leave them in the back doing nothing. Mark can't leave AEW, guys. I'm making it clear. If you feel like I do, that Mark Briscoe and Eddie Kingston have not been treated correctly by AEW, where they could have pushed them and put them in really good positions where people want them to be, Eddie, he could leave. And maybe he might get somewhere all right in TNA when they reboot. Counting if TNA is going to be more than what it was as Impact Wrestling. Like I said with Athena, they had a chance to hire Athena before she went to NXT. And she tried twice, from what if I remember from Chris Van Vliet's interview of her. She tried twice, and Impact said no. Those stupid motherfuckers. And most of the original people who were involved in the company who would make decisions like that are probably still there. But the point is, we still don't know what's going to happen with TNA if they are going to be more than what they say they are. Because they could still be Impact just with the name TNA on them. And they will fuck themselves up. But if they are going to be better, I wouldn't mind seeing Eddie Kingston go to TNA, to say Impact, TNA, and literally make something more of himself if they put him in the main title scene past Josh Alexander or Alex Shelley. But when it comes to Mark Briscoe, he can't do that. If Mark is being paid a near seven-figure salary, I don't know what he's being paid. We don't know. Easily, he's got to be paid maybe near a six-figure salary. He's got to be making what? Maybe $700,000, $600,000 a year? Maybe if he's really lucky, if they renegotiate his contract, he's getting near $1 million, which I hope he is. He needs that freaking money. He needs that money because he has not only his own wife and kids to take care of, he has his wife and his own kids. He also has his other nieces. He has his two nieces who, if you don't remember, I did a Gump report on. They were in the car with Mark's brother. They got hit by that 250? I believe it was a Ford, not F-150. That's what his brother had. I think the woman had a 250. 1500 or 150 or 250. I can't remember the make of the pickup trucks. But essentially, they were in the car with him. Both of them had severe internal injuries. They were lucky to survive it. It cost hundreds of thousands of dollars to do multiple surgeries and therapy and drugs to pay for his nieces. He can't leave AEW. No matter if he's being treated bad in the back, if he's bored out of his mind and he wants more, he's frustrated, he has to eat it. Unless, like I said, he could get a better offer from WWE and remotely TNA. Let's say TNA gives him an offer better than what they got in AEW. Go. Take it. WWE, go. take it. That's what I would tell him. But if there's no way they're going to give him anything more than what he's getting in AEW, he's got to stay. It doesn't make a difference if he likes it or not. But here's a good thing. At least he's getting good money. And people are still loving him. And we had this match. I really wish they would push him into the main title scene. That's me. I do believe that he has enough charisma and enough credibility that people will love him. That if you went up against like a Christian Cage and won the TNT title, he'd be alright. I wouldn't mind seeing him as a TNT champion. Or even the world title and push him against MJF and give him an extra payout. He may not win it, but at least he deserves to be in the main title scene and to be seen most of the time. But this is what we're getting. And I truly believe that this is one of the better matches I've seen. And it was the best match of the night for me because it was an emotional thing and it was a damn brutal match. But it was the best. Athena and Billy Starks was the second. The rest were okay. Finally, by the time this is uploaded, it'll be almost 2 o'clock. But it's not like I'm doing a lot. Peace.